Hey, BassGeek here, and we gotta have a talk about suspended bass. What's up, geeks? Yeah, we do need to have a little bit of a discussion, and we need to update a video I did a little while back. Check this video out right here. I believe it'll pop up. It was a really good video talking about some of my top 6 lures to fire up suspended schools of bass. As I said in that video, every YouTuber, every pro, everybody and their mama will tell you, when you see the bass along the bottom, they're nice and grouped up, that's what you want. And that's true. But a lot of times, they're not gonna bite, even when they're grouped up on the bottom, when they are what you have been told they should be. So a trick that I can tell you, and something that I've been doing for a long time, and now with the advent of the forward-facing sonar, a lot of people are now doing this, and that's fishing for suspenders. Suspended bass, up until now, have really been the untapped, and for us guys, you know, I don't keep secrets from you, but a lot of the ledge anglers have not been telling you that, because electronics has gotten so good even before the advent of the forward-facing sonar, we have been targeting suspended bass. Suspended bass are not inactive. They're not inactive. Pay attention to how high your shad are, your bait fish are. That's a huge key. Pay attention to how they are grouped up when they're suspended up. But like I said, no one targets those fish. Everybody skips them. Everybody misses them, at least until now. A lot of people are getting better, but there's a lot of you who still don't understand those fish are feeding. If you don't believe me, go watch this video, this video, this video, this video, this video, this video. You actually see on the graph, I show it, I share it, you actually see on the graph the bass up and suspended, and then me catching them. All right, so enough of the tirade. Let's talk about my new top 6 baits for suspended bass. All right, so we're gonna get in a little bit of shade right here so I can cool off. It is the heat of summer. But let me give you my point. And let me make a point to you by saying this, so you can believe everybody else. I've only been doing this for 30 years or more. The point is, yes, everybody tells you to target those fish, or those fish are ready to be caught when they're on the bottom. Let's think about it. They're pinned to the bottom. You don't have to learn how to count your bait down. You don't have to learn how to get it just right. Now, with the advent of the forward-facing sonar, it makes that hugely simple. So a lot more people are doing it. But the fish that are on the bottom are pinned to the bottom. So you can take a crankbait and run by, you can take a jig and run by. Heck, you can even take one of my favorite baits off of this list, a Swimbait, put a big heavy head on it, keep it on the bottom, and zoom it right by them. They're on the bottom. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to count them down. You don't have to think about your rod, reel, line, reel speed, line diameter, all that. It's easy. That's why they're easier to catch. Not that suspended bass are less active. It's just that you have to think about it a little bit more. So let's run through my top 6, all right? Number 6 is going to be a spoon, a flutter spoon to be exact. Guys, I learned a few years ago through trial and error, you can actually throw that spoon out there. You're not going to get an exact drop because it flutters as it falls, but you can throw that spoon out there, kind of count it down to a certain level, and then just give it a few good hard cranks. Stop and let it fall on taut line, just a little bit, not slack, but just a little bit of bow in your line. And I've got a great video on that from last year, and I've got a great video on that. It's under my ledge fishing playlist. Guys, you wouldn't believe the amount of good information that's out there in that thing. So number 5, believe it or not, yeah, we're talking about suspended bass over deep water. It's going to be topwater. There's going to be 2 major kinds. Now, I've caught them on a regular popper before in super clear water. Actually, I've done it a lot if you all have watched. You'll hear Tackle Junkie talk about it and Debo talk about me catching fish over 2,000 foot of water. You know, they give me a heck about it. But the thing of it is, when you've got super clear water, a good one knocker style, a good walking bait, walked real slow, and it has to be a specific kind that's got a smooth nose, so you've got a nice wide glide. Or in the shallower situations that you're going to find, say on Kentucky Lake or the Tennessee River style ledge fishing lakes, yeah, it's shallower than up here. You can actually use, and in some cases on Douglas and Cherokee, you can use a what I call big pencil popper, or an evergreen shower blow, a cane walker. They really, in the situation that there's a lot of waves or there's darker water, you want a little more noise, but you want it to stay in place. I don't remember who it was, but 2-3 years back, a guy on Kentucky Lake won working that bad boy out over some of those ledges. Something that I've been using a lot here lately, and a lot for the past 3 or 4 years, a Swimbait for largemouth, for big largemouth out over ledges or deep water. Man, those things are incredible, especially when it's low light or a little bit of chop on the water. A Swimbait, you can count it down. I mean, it is the epitome of a suspended bass bait. You can count it down, hold your rod low, and go. But what's great about it is it's a finesse tactic. You're using it on a spinning reel setup. And as far as Swimbaits go, there's only one out there that I will touch, and I have tried a bunch of them, but that's the Duo Realis. A soft jerk bait. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. How's that for crazy? A soft jerk bait. My very favorite is the Strike King Caffeine Shad, because it's a little heavier. It's got a lot of salt in it. And then if I need it to fall even faster, I'm going to go ahead and put it on a Gamakatsu belly weighted hook. I like the 4 and I like the 5-inch sizes. And you can just throw it out there and count it down, and then just give it a couple 3 twitches straight up, and the bass go insane for it. It makes a great follow-up bait for when they're popping a swim bait but not eating it. If you know me, you know what number 1 and number 2 are. But I bet you're not going to guess the order. Number 1, it's going to be my swim bait. A swim bait is such a versatile tool. I think it and a jig are probably 2 of the most versatile baits that we can fish, because you can fish them almost at any level of the water column, and depending on the weight, at almost any speed. But jigs, not so much for suspended bass. Now, a swim bait, on the other hand, is perfect. And guys, I'm telling you, you can catch the biggins on a nice soft plastic swim bait. Ramsey Baits is probably my favorite. Producer is a second favorite, and they make the pintails, which are great, on my number 1. And then, of course, you've got the Shadowlicious, that style of hollow body. Now, last but not least, and number 1 on the list, the underspin. Suspended bass can't stand that dang thing. But what's great about an underspin is how versatile it is, especially the one from Ledgehead, which they call the Tennessee River Bling and the Tennessee River Bling Micro. The Micro is the one that I probably use more than any of them, just because it gets bites. Some things that I love to do to it is put a straight tail on it, either a fluke or one of my favorites, the pintail from Producer Swim Baits. Love that thing. It looks so good in the water. That gives it a little more natural with that flash of the blade just under the belly. It's a great combination. I love to put the Ramsey on my small one, the little 3.5 swim bait on there. But again, you just got to kind of feel it out. You got to pick up one and see which ones they want. So just to sum it up, guys, now that we've got the forward-facing sonars, the live scopes, all that stuff, you know, a lot of guys are just discovering that you can catch suspended bass. And that's something that in my area, if you've really wanted to win tournaments, you've learned how to do well before all that stuff comes out. And it's something that I've been doing for years before that technology come out. So now it's made it easier, and people are starting to see that those fish that are lined up on the bottom aren't always the easiest ones to catch. So with or without the electronics, trust me, it's something that can be done. Like I said, especially if there's shad in the area, these fish are up and feeding. Guys, tell me what you think about it. As always, questions, comments in the comment section below. You guys know I love to talk fishing with you. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell so you get the notifications. That is the best way to support this channel. Please join, as one of my buddies and one of my subscribers has already started, the 100% Watch Club. It really is the best way to support the channel. And as always, you guys rock.